Welcome to another episode of Million Dollar Stories, where we get to interview authors from all over the world. I love talking to authors because they have the courage to take their thoughts, their stories, their lessons, put it down in a book form, and share it with the many, ultimately changing their legacy and destiny in the process. And if you're an entrepreneur out there, I recommend you write a book. If you need help, check out dreamstarterspublishing.com. We can help you out with wherever you're at in the process. And if you already have a book that's done and you want to use it to generate leads for your business, check out bookmarketingcrm.com. Now, I'm excited about this next guest because she wrote a book that, it's simple to understand. It's a clean title, and I agree with it. Manifest and invest. Live your best life. Get your money right. I'm telling you, I think step one in anything is get your money right. People always say, get your health right, get your spiritual side right, get your relationships right. I believe, and when I'm looking back, I think it all has to start, yes, with a belief in God and spirituality, but maybe I didn't have it all come together until I was in control of my schedule, which did not happen until I got my money right. So I think that's step one, and that's why I'm excited to talk to Dawn Santoriello. She has a very professional looking background that rivals mine, so I'm a little jealous, and it's an honor to have you on, Dawn. Thanks so much for being here.
Hi, Mike. Thanks. I'm happy to be here. This is going to be exciting. I love talking to people and educating the masses and, yeah, motivating everybody.
Well, I just made a post today. I said the happiest men, and I just put men because most of the people who listen to my podcast or maybe even just on my social media are men. But the happiest men are those with a mission. All right. And so I think when you're talking about this manifestation, you need to know where you're going in life, what you want to accomplish, who you want to become, how that person wants to dress. It all begins with the end in mind. So if you can kind of give a little background on where you come from, what got you here, and why you wrote this book, I'd really appreciate that.
Okay, sure. Well, I'm originally from New York, born in Brooklyn, raised in Long Island, and I grew up with a plastic spoon in my mouth. We were dirt poor. I call it like the white ghetto. Oh, sorry. I just have no filter. I just say things. So sorry if I offended
Please.
anyone, but you're all men out there, so I don't think you get offended. So good. So I'm just going to be me. So yeah, we were dirt poor. I was so poor that I had a black hole in my tooth. Thank God it was a baby tooth because we couldn't afford to go to the dentist or anything. In and out of different foster homes, and then finally landed in my forever home and got adopted. And the one thing in my life was I was like, I'm never going to be poor again. No way. And my adopted dad, who I just call him my dad, basically said, if you want something in this world, you got to work hard. So I just had the strong work ethic. I studied hard, but it wasn't enough to just get an A in school. I had to get like the highest grade in the class. That little perfectionist work hard drive. And then I had two loves. I loved like money. And then I also loved trying to be famous, being a famous actress and a model. That didn't work out, but it actually did work out because it led me to find this career that I absolutely love. I have so much passion for it. And it makes me feel like that burning desire that I had for the acting and modeling. And now I kind of am famous. I wrote a couple books. I get to be on podcasts. So I am living the dream, doing what I want and spreading my message out, helping other people and inspiring them. And that's just what I love to do. So wait, is
Nice.
that a little bit about my background? Oh, then I got into finance, became a certified financial planner. COVID hit, and that's when my dreams started to come true. I know it's totally ironic. Everybody was freaking out, but when COVID hit, I lost all scarcity mindset around money, which was crazy because I was always like, I can't be poor. I was struggling the whole career. I was like, what the hell? What's going on? I talk about it in the book of how I had $200 to my name. I was stuck in a parking garage because my credit cards were maxed out. Not because I was just spending foolishly. I was working on a real estate project, and in my business, it's survival. Like you basically, no one's there to help you. You got to like eat what you kill, which I'm sure all you men can relate to. We have to just get out there and go hunt. Um, so, and then one day I worked with a spiritual coach, and she's like, Dawn, I see you writing a book. I'm like, on what? She's like, spirituality and finance. I was like, are you freaking crazy? I'm like, I'm not going to do that. Like, I would lose all my clients. People will think I'm insane. And then I started to think about it, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe she's right, but let me go get a certified financial planning designation because then I have street cred. People will be like, okay, she's smart. She has this, this tough credentials behind her. So I did that. And then COVID came, just started writing. I started doing speaking events. Like that's what I love Zoom. I still use Zoom to this day for meeting clients. I'm all over the country thanks to COVID. speaking, doing different things, all virtually. I teach some classes locally. But yeah, that's how it all started. I put the first book out there, which is The Spiritual Path to Prosperity, The Truth About Money Revealed. And I didn't follow really my guidance. Like I wanted to have the cover design like how I have in the second book, like me on the cover. And then some people were like, who the hell are you? You're nobody. Nobody knows you. You can't put yourself on a cover. I was like, oh, okay. So that was like an ego crush. And then as soon as you write the first book, everyone's like, where's the second? And I'm like, what do you mean? I just wrote a book. I'm done. Never again. And then I was thought about it. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, let me do it my way this time. Go do like the self-publishing route with a book coach, because as you know, you keep more of your money that way instead of being
Yep.
like a hybrid. And then again, the second book came out, became another bestseller, and that's my favorite one because it's yeah, I put all the testimonials for people that I've helped manifest with, and some of the people are like considered just regular like attorneys or CPAs. It's amazing how many people, especially since COVID, have awakened, as I call it, and are into the law of attraction, into manifesting. And so, yeah, so I'm excited.
Well, I have to say your teeth look great. So not,
Thanks.
you take care of them, and I think that's huge because I'm I had really bad teeth as a kid too, and my mom, if there's anything she really taught me is make sure you take care of your teeth,
Yeah.
right? She spent so much money on making sure because she had bad teeth, and
Mhm.
so she wanted to make sure her son had good teeth. So I have to thank my mom
Nice.
for that.
Yeah, you have
Um,
great teeth too, nice and white.
Thank you
I
very
love
much.
it.
Yeah. Every 5 years I get them whitened. So I'm one of those guys that I'm laying in bed and I fall asleep without brushing my teeth, I feel like shit the
Yeah.
whole next day. So I make sure I get out of bed and brush my teeth
Okay.
as often as I can. But anyways, um, when you talk about energy and money and how they're the exact same, I think that really strikes a chord. It wasn't until I guess you could say 2018, 2019 for me that I realized that money is energy. And it
Yeah,
seems like you're the exact same way. And energy cannot be created or destroyed. Now, people will say out
exactly.
there, well, the Federal Reserve is creating money left and right. And I'm like, yes, of course they are depreciating the value of the
Mhm.
dollar. But when you look at it in just the totalitarian approach that if I become a valuable asset, an attractive force, it's going to flow to me. And the only way to do that is to articulate my solutions in a way that helps enough people get to where they want to get to. So if I help other people move forward, then and only then I will be able to get what I want. So I really do equate it to energy
Yeah,
and
and
the law of energy, right? Every action has a reaction, and everybody's worried about what's in their bank account, which is the reaction. Start focusing on the input in everything you do and watch what happens. So, can you just touch on this because this is
yeah.
huge?
Okay, so yeah, like me, like Miss Paranoid, always afraid about being poor. COVID hits, the whole world thinks the world's coming to an end. What do I do? I'm like, oh, this is great. And I was just, it shocked me that I didn't care about my money. I thought, I'm like, you know what? It's just going to come to me. Oh, sorry. I get so excited. I'm hitting things over here. And ever since COVID, boom, every year I progressed. Even right now, I just surpassed my best year ever, which was last year. And I'm like, wow. So I'm grateful for that. So that's energy. And then also too, I'll share a little vulnerability moment. Um, I'm in the process of losing my biggest client, and no fault to my own. It's just that some people, and especially just certain type of people, they can't see through like the forest to the trees. They only see one thing. They look at cost, and even though I show them the whole picture of how I saved you, like 2.3 million versus doing my plan versus doing the way you're doing, but if someone's going to pay their advisory fees, they're just going to go. But what I did at first, I was like, this is going to suck, and I'm like, no, it's not, because you know what? I love my people. He was a great guy. But I would get calls all the time. Well, how come I'm not doing this? How come the market, the world's ending? And I'm like, you're up 1% and everyone else is down. I'm like, you're still good. And I'm like, when we had a couple bad months, I think it was last year. So there was a lot of babysitting and hand holding. And I'm like, you know what? Again, it's energy clearing out to allow and attract new people into um, my business. And so what I did then, I was like, yesterday, I started calling everybody. And there was one particular call, and it was, oh, it touched my heart because this client, he has brain cancer. So I called him, like, hey, I'm just doing a wellness check to see how you are. And he's like, well, I'm in the hospital. I'm like, oh no. I'm like, how long have you been there? He's like, 14 days. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'm like, you know how you met me. I'm into manifesting. Can I do my manifestation prayer with you? So he said, sure. So I did that, and I helped kind of brighten up his day. And then actually he put me in touch with his wife because I only dealt with him. I've never dealt with a wife. So I started talking to her and I'm like, you know what? I'm here for you. Anything you need. You need to talk, you need to vent. Because that's also what's different about me. Like I really love my people. And like I want to be their person to like whenever they need something, like be their rock for them and guide them, not only just financially. So I had that. And then I spoke to another client who again, she buys into this whole fear mentality, watching this, the world is ending, the election's going to come, and boom, we're never going to see, it's going to be so bad that we've never seen it before. And I'm like, we've always been in that place where we've never seen it before. This has never happened. And I'm like, you got to let go, turn off the TV, don't listen to anything. You know, and what's really sad about her is her energy. She attracts people who constantly take advantage of her, like these get rich quick schemes. She spent like 17 grand on this one program from somebody we saw on a movie that's famous out there. And then she got a job, she told me, for a month, and that was a scam. They didn't even pay her. So I was like, you know what? You got some energy things that you're attracting. So we got to clear that out. So again, I did the manifestation prayer for her. So that'll work. I don't know yet what's going to happen, but I know that'll help get her on the path. So yeah, like you said, energy is everything. And how you do one thing is how you do everything. I think I've just crossed the barrier and cleared my other block, which, well, it's not about money, it's about relationships, but it's the same concept, scarcity.
Yep.
And I let that go. And now it's like, woo, I don't do anything. And people just come to me. And I was like, oh, I don't have to chase, I attract, you know, like that song. And I'm like, this is great. So yeah, so like you said, everything like health, your wealth, your money, it's all energy. It's what you believe and what you believe. And you could change those thoughts. So if you're sitting there and you're miserable, things could change. Like, for example, that one client I had that's leaving me, he was at his lowest point. He had no job. He was basically, well, I don't want to say anything bad. He was just basically at the lowest point, and kind of, I had to pick him up a lot because he was like, it's hopeless. I'm never going to find a job because of my age. I don't know what to do. And I had to like babysit him and be his cheerleader the whole time, did my manifestation prayer with him. And then came last year before the day before Thanksgiving. He's like, Dawn, you're never going to believe it. I told you, you're my first person I'm calling when I get a job. And he's like, I got a job. So good. Now I'm going to follow your financial plan. And so I was thrilled. So like, so it did kind of sting a little when he got that email this weekend saying, hey, you know what, you're great, but I'm leaving because my company's paying my financial advisor fees to this other company. But yeah,
Hmm.
sorry. I'm sorry, I digress. I go all over the place because
That's all
I'm just
right. No,
so into this stuff.
I'm with you though. I think that you see the world through who you are as a person, right? And if you have a scarcity mindedness or you have an abundant mindset, basically it's a reflection. And so these people who are doom and gloom, there's something going on inside themselves that there's something lacking, and maybe it's purpose, maybe it's a vision. Maybe there's just lack of clarity. But if they lack something, that's whenever they lash out. That's when they see nothing but negativity. Now,
Yeah.
what I've realized, and maybe you kind of can summarize what this is, but what I realize is that if I do really well with something and I hit a goal, a finish line, I
Mhm.
need another finish line ahead, right? Something that excites me, that pushes me forward. So I will say to myself, I have everything I need, but man, that's the target. That's the mission. A man who is happy is a man who's on a mission. And I look at that mission and I say, without it, I feel lost. Now, I will say that I have enough, whether it's money or whether it's health, I've done enough. But you need this target to kind of say, I want to get there. And if I get there, then I'll feel that dopamine rush. So there is a sense of maybe abundance, but hey, it would be nice if I was able to do X, Y, and Z. Do you believe that everyone, no matter what, has to have that dream vision, a new peak to hit, a new marathon to run in order for them to have a fulfilling life?
Well, I kind of, let's see, like, I guess it's different groups of people. Like, I'm kind of like that too. And I'm like not a typical woman. People are like, Dawn, like, I have a lot of guy friends who are like, Dawn, you're just like a guy in a human, in like a female form. Cause I'm always goal oriented. I'm like, I hit the one. Yeah. It's like, I hit it and then I want the next best thing. But in like spirituality teaches us, well, that's because we're maybe not truly fully fulfilled within ourselves. There might be one little area because you're right. If we have everything, we don't need everything. Everything's inside of us. So why do we got to chase some goal? So there's that aspect to it. Then there could also be, it's just something that we like because like it's the hunter mentality. We got to go out and hunt and like it just feels good to get that win. And so that's also, so I kind of like go back and forth. I'm like, wait, I am happy. Like you said, I have everything I could ever want. And, but it's just like fun. It's like a game. It's like, okay, I want to go see, can I go do this? Like, can I get to the next level? Like and how would that feel? So it's kind of like different kind of groups. We know like we are fulfilled, but I guess as entrepreneurs, we're never satisfied because that's what brings on growth is because we hit that ceiling and we're like, okay, cool. What's next? What else can we expand and create to provide more value? So, did I make sense? I'm like, I
Yeah.
see things from like different sides, and then I try to bring it into one thing.
Man, it is, I guess, I mean, it's interesting to look at it from that
Yeah.
perspective of like, if you are truly happy and truly content, you really don't need anything. You don't need anybody, right? You
Mhm.
just need a relationship with yourself and with God. And once you have that, you're in a good place. And
Yeah.
so there has to be some, and maybe it is the hunter's mentality where it's maybe it's in some of us, maybe not in
Yeah.
everyone, but I need something to pursue to get me out of bed and be like, all right, we're trying to accomplish that. And there was a time like starting a business, you know how difficult it
Yeah.
is.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was so chaotic that when I hit a level of like, I didn't have to worry about fighting for a sale throughout that day, it was like, let me just take a breather right here. Let me just sit down. Let me just enjoy this moment. But if I stay here too long, the comfort zone is going to eat me, right? I'm going to die because comfort will only kill you, in my opinion. And
Yeah.
so if you stay too long, that's whenever the weeds will take the garden. So one thing I want to get to though in your book, you talk about your relationship with God now, and you say thank you God for this for me. So one thing that I've been kind of going over recently is how often do I say thank you, God, throughout the day? That's a question I ask myself. And I've been saying it more and more. Thank you, God. When I go on runs and the sunshine's hitting, or whether it's just cleared up or if it's beautiful out, I get to run. I get to build a business. I get to go after things. I keep saying thank you, God, for this time, for this energy, for the health. And that is the gratitude. I think the more grateful you are for the little things that you enjoy, I believe you're rewarded, whether it's right away or on a long timeline. So, how important is that to your book?
Oh, it's very important. And I was taught that by my spiritual teacher, Lynn Renee McDonald. She had this whole prayer, and I was like, cool. So and like, that's how she clears all blocks that I would have and everything, and to like manifest what I want. Because again, gratitude, yeah, you have to be grateful for what you have, because if you're not grateful, you're just being a selfish prick. Sorry. And then, so it's being thankful because then you're entrusted with more. And yeah, I always would pray to God my way, but now I do it this way. And it's not like a religion thing. It's just like God, because there is a higher power and it's God, whatever, universe, whatever you call it. But I do it all the time. And what I found even more intriguing is when you do it, like I guess they say, I don't really read the Bible that much, but I guess in the Bible it says when two people pray, it's more powerful. And it usually is. Like when me and my friends pray and manifest things, it happens. And then once you're just in that groove, you kind of just think things and they happen. That's kind of scary because you, again, talking about being in that negative mindset, you got to make sure you get rid of that negativity whenever it comes to, and it comes through, especially when you're at the point of success, when you're like, this is great, negativity is going to fly in. So you have to like be able to say, this isn't real. This is just like the enemy trying to bring me down, and stay focused. And that's when I pray. I'm like, okay, thank you for all the abundance in my life. Thank you for bringing all these new clients to me in the best way for me and all or something better. And thank you, God, for this for me. Then I say, love, energy, clear, heal, and change anything that prevents this prayer from being answered, and let me be happy no matter what happens. And thank you, God, for that for me. So I say that throughout my day for everything, even silly things like parking spots or like, yeah,
Yeah.
when I need to like get on the phone and I'm like, oh, like trying to book appointments or something. And I'm like, you know what, this is going to be tough. I just say that. And then yesterday too, like I got to be a blessing to those two people. And like, I didn't know that. I was just like, okay, I'm going to call my clients today, just do wellness checks, see how they're doing. And then here I was able to hopefully have an impact on people, which I'm sure I did.
I would think that many people you work with struggle with creating good habits when it comes to money. And when it goes back to the Bible, or when we go back to the Bible, it talks about if you are trusted with few, you will be rewarded with many. And so creating the good habits with as little as you have will be
Mm.
such a blessing for the big windfalls, right? So Is that something you educate individuals on? I look at even bookkeeping for our company, and doing the little things. That's what really matters, because if I don't do the little things,
Mhm.
I don't see how I will be ever blessed with an insane amount of money, right? So I need to get all the little things right whenever it comes to accurate bookkeeping, making sure things, we have certain systems and processes in place for different procedures, and just making sure all the little things are in order for me to actually benefit on the long timeline. So, is that one of the difficult aspects of educating people, to give them a clear picture that even if it's only 5,000, 1,000, $100, doing the right things now will serve you now and forever whenever the real rewards come?
Yeah, I think it is too, because people they feel like, oh, I have to have this amount to invest or this to do this. But you said it's baby steps. One, my mom always taught me, pay yourself first. Save 20% of your income. You have that set up. You have a business. Okay, make sure you're set up. Your talk to your business accountant, your business attorney. Are you formed? Like I was when I first started out, I was an LLC. Then I met an accountant. He's like, you should be an LLC taxes and S corp. You save the 15% on the self-employment tax. I was like, oh wow, that's really cool. And again, I had no idea how to even run a business. Again, I attracted everything to me. And so yeah, when I see clients, I'm like, save whatever you can. Just start small. Like you said, $50 a week, whatever it is, just start somewhere. Educate yourself. Um, and and then you will attract people into your life. Like for example, I just met this person. I think he attracted me into his life because he has a great successful business. I'm like, oh, how's your retirement plan? He's like, I don't know what to do. I don't have anything saved. I was like, okay, well, let me help you out there. And the biggest thing I see too is people, especially entrepreneurs, make sure you're saving for your quarterly taxes so you're not at the end of the year scrambling. Oh my God, I have to pay
Bingo.
$100. Save, like save 25, 30%. Just put that aside in an account so you don't worry about it. And then and also you want to make sure you're paying quarterly payments. Otherwise, you're going to get underpayment penalties. So get that all set up. Because it's great to have a vision and that you want a business, but you have to be smart about it too. And make sure you have your ducks in a row, things are lined up. Another thing I saw is one client came to me, she didn't pay taxes in like 2 years. I'm like, do you want to go to jail? Go get in. She's like, well, this company that scammed her. I'm talking about that same woman. She's like, they're going to do my taxes. And I'm like, well, they missed that 1 year. And I'm like, they're only trying to like scam you. Like, she said they were going to give you a business. I'm like, you have no assets to even go buy a business. I'm like, your best bet is to go do uh, network marketing. You don't really need a big investment. I'm like, but they're not gonna like help you get a business. I'm like, you're 60 something years old. You don't have any assets in the bank. You have nothing for retired. I'm like, they're not for you. I'm like, you need to go get your taxes done and start saving and doing things properly. Because another thing she was doing was day trading in her IRA. I'm like, you don't day trade in your IRA. That's not a good thing. So I see a lot of people have these habits. Another person they were watching, oh, buy gold. They bought my book at the bookstore. They had a gold IRA. I'm like, well, what is this going to do for you? Is this going to provide you an income for you and your wife? They're like, no. And so we fixed that. So now they both have an income guaranteed for life. Because yeah, a lot of that's another stuff. They hear all the stuff out there, these talking heads. I don't know who's that guy that talks about the gold IRA. Like, is it William Shatner? I don't even know. I don't even watch TV. I stream. So
Yeah, I think
it's
it is William Shatner. I think he's one of
yeah.
them.
And I'm like, you can't get into these get rich quick schemes that I see. That's a lot of things that I see people fall victim to, like these. It's not going to work. You can't really get rich quick for your retirement. It's not going to work. And you have to just be disciplined, and it's a long-term, steady, disciplined process. If you
I,
try to go chase the latest, greatest thing, like it's not going to work out. If you get lucky, you would think that it's going to work out, but most people don't get lucky. Um, so
yeah. So the habits that you formed and maybe you take for granted, whether it comes to, like you said, your mom teaching you about profit first technique. I'm sure
yeah.
you've heard of the profit first, Mike McCallowitz philosophy, which, yeah, you pay yourself first, and then you have different accounts set up for
Yeah.
different levers, whether it's tax or charity. And just having that in place could just change the way you look at the money coming in. You don't look at one big pool, you look at every single bucket. And therefore, or actually you look at the one pool, but that pool is siphoning off into other buckets, making your tax payment not as stressful. You're sleeping a little bit better, right? You have better energy, you have more of
Exactly.
abundance. So, what are some things that you have applied to your life, whether it's a schedule, a routine, or certain disciplines that you would want to share to our audience throughout the
Well, I
day?
love this because I talk about this in my book, My Day. I wake up, make my bed because I remember there was a guy
You
that
got
made
to
me
make your
yoga.
bed. I'm
Yeah,
with you
gotta
on
make
that.
my
You
bed.
have to.
Then I get up, have my athletic greens or AG1 as it's called now. Do that. I'll turn on if I'm listening to like a podcast or something. I'll listen to that. Then I get ready, sit down. I just walk over to my desk because I'm virtual. And then I just focus on doing my work. Then midday, I'll take a 20-minute break and do a yoga nidra. That totally calms your mind because I am super hyper and energetic. And that just kind of like calms me. I'll work out. So that's very helpful too. Like even on days you don't feel like it, you do it. You feel like $1,000,000. You're strong because you need a strong mind, strong body, strong spiritually. You need to be strong all around to be fully functioning at your highest potential and level. So that's what I do. Oh, I love sleep. I go to bed at like 10 o'clock, wake up at 8. I just love sleep. That's very important,
Damn right.
especially for us entrepreneurs, because our brains never stop and we're so like, go, 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 go. So the body recovers when it gets its full rest. I'll fall asleep to guided meditations. Lately, I've been listening to Michael Singer. He wrote Untethered Soul. So he's all about, and I think that's really been having a common force on me lately because I realize I'm like, I'm not as hyper as I used to be. I'm kind of calm. I get those periods like now when I'm like full of energy, but it's kind of like calm. And he talks about coming back to center and just being in yourself. Stop, like, it's just your mind saying stuff that you're not your mind. So I fall asleep to a lot of those inspirational things. I'll read different kinds of books, constantly educating myself in my own business, in self improvement and self growth. Nature, spending time out in nature is amazing. I love water. Water is like a great conductor. It like soothes your soul. Hopping on my bike, going out in the woods. So yeah, those are things that I do. Dancing, that's how like I get into like my high frequency, my attractor mood. Like you got to find like something that you love and makes you come alive. That's when you're operating at your highest attraction level. So you could attract things that you want into your life. And anytime you feel like you're like low vibing and like in a negative mood, you got to quickly try to just feel those feelings and get out of that. So again, you could be the best version of you and start attracting everything you need.
Yeah, and I think that flow state that you're alluding to comes only whenever you are the best ideas come whenever you are in that flow state, right? And
Mhm.
when I go for runs or I'm on a motorcycle or if I'm doing something that just excites me, it kind of puts me in the moment. For some reason, I have the least amount of stress, but also the best ideas and how I'm going to apply them to my pathway. So you need those. And I do believe when it comes to sleep and whether it comes to that childlike mentality, whether you're dancing or riding dirt bikes or going for runs, staying youthful comes from doing things that you love. And Tony Robbins has this great quote, and it ties in with your sleep comment, but your life is based off of your quality of your life is based off quality of your thoughts and quality of
Mhm.
relationships. And I would add one more. It's the quality of your sleep. If you sleep
Yeah.
well, you're way ahead of the game. Like you said, as entrepreneurs, type A personalities specifically, they're just go, 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 go. And you need to have that body recoup in such a way that it does allow you to be your best, whether it's, for certain parts of the day or throughout the entire day.
Yeah, and it helps you too. And another thing too, it's funny that you talked about the age thing. How I learned about like childlike innocence is my 11th humanities teacher, Miss Bell. She told us, she's like, never lose your childlike innocence. Like that's what happens to adults. So I was like, that stuck with me, and I was like, no, I'm always like a big goofball. And and I also too think about. I didn't even mention one thing, like aging. I think that's important too. Like I don't know, you look young too. Like people don't believe me when I say I'm 46. They're like, no,
Wow.
yeah.
Are you really? That's
Yeah,
amazing. I'm,
just
I'm
turned
39.
36. Okay. So yeah, you look younger too. And it's because we're happy, we have that childlike innocence, we know how to channel our stress, but I think really think it's happiness and not feeling burdened like by all those adult pressures. Yeah, we have those adult pressures, but we don't let it get us. So and yeah, like so eating right, taking care of yourself, that's how you have the whole proper healthy spirituality, healthy mindset, healthy emotional awareness, and your physical awareness, and being just healthy and strong as an overall person as you can be.
It's
That's
so,
the whole package, I would say.
I mean, I mean, I agree with everything you're saying. Yeah, I used to think that, oh, well, the diet really has no impact on my psyche, right? Or my mood. That's a bunch of shit, right?
Yeah.
Your food is everything. I was
Mhm.
even talking to my dad. I just drink water and coffee. All right. So I'm
Me too.
39 years
Water and tea. That's all I
water.
drink.
Okay,
Water and tea.
nice. No wonder. But individuals out there have no idea what the drinks are doing to them. And I used to, I mean, thank God that I got it out of my system. I used to drink like a fish whenever I was in college and even up until I was 30. But my body started to change right around when I was 30, 32. I started to get like really sick even after a couple drinks. And it was like, you have to let yourself die. Parts of you die whenever it doesn't fit anymore. And as time went on, I got away from orange juice. I got away from milk. I got away from all these sugary drinks. My body started looking better, but I started to perform better too. So, like, I was at an optimum level based off of just eating 2 times per day, not three, not four, not five, like some people, 2 times, small breakfast, big dinner, and then breaking down just water and coffee. And so I was talking to my dad yesterday, and he used to just drink all these sugary drinks, and he would have a couple beers every once in a while. But he's like, "Hey, I'm really feeling a lot better now that I've only been drinking water. Like, that's it." And I'm like, "Yeah, see, your mood, your energy is based off of what you put in your body. And if you can regulate that in a way where your sleep's on point, your diet's on point, your body knows what to expect, and you've dialed it in, you're going to be your best version of yourself, which excites you for the next day." And so it's all connected, right? And I think that's probably the message of your book, that everything is
Yeah,
connected.
everything's
And the
connected.
more you realize that, the better you off you are.
Yeah. Yeah. And when it comes to food, I love to eat. Yeah, I can't just eat 2 meals a day. Hell no. And I do like sweets sometimes, especially now in the summer, ice cream. But yeah, I kind of flush it out with water and I don't like eat ice cream all day long. So, but you're right. So,
So,
and then people come over and I'm like, hey, do you guys want something to drink? I have water.
yeah, I know. And it's so crazy to say this too, but it's like the older I get, the more boring I become, like to the average person. Like I don't want to go to nightclubs. It sounds like you're a dancer, but I don't want to do that type of stuff. And it is like making me boring to the external, but I feel more at peace. So
Yeah.
maybe that's a byproduct, that you're more at peace. You don't have to put yourself in the chaotic situations, because as entrepreneurs, there's chaos around us at all times.
Yeah, exactly. And then I'm one of those people that goes out, like, I'll dance for a little bit, but I'm home by like 10. It's like, okay, I need my bedtime. Let's go to
No,
sleep.
nice.
So I get everybody all pumped, and I'm like, yeah. Like it was funny for my birthday. We went out and did trivia, and a couple weeks ago, and I'm like, hey guys, let's go dancing after. So like, Dawn, who are you? What are you talking about? You're gonna be in bed at like 10 o'clock, and then it was over at like 9:15. I'm like, and they're like, Dawn, you want to go out? I'm like, no, I'm tired. I'm going home. But sometimes I do get those energetic sparks, and it's like, okay, I need to go dance because then you release it, it just makes you feel good. Yeah.
So you mentioned a few books that mean a lot to me, whether it's Think and Grow Rich in this book, or there's a couple other ones. So was there a moment that you picked up a book and it changed your life? Is there one that stands out that you recommend to our audience that really puts you on this pathway?
Let's see. Well, it's going to sound cheesy. The Secret. And
That,
then,
yeah, of course.
yeah, that one. And then what's the other one she wrote? The Power? Was it called The Power? Yeah, I think it was that. And then I saw the movie and I'm like, oh, wow, this is cool. And I did what that guy did. He imagined a car, like a BMW. Like, that's what I got. I was like, okay, I'm going to sit there, pretend I'm in a car. And then a week later, well, he didn't buy it for me, but a guy I was dating went out and bought the BMW 650 convertible, which is the car I wanted at that point. I was like, damn, this is pretty powerful. Yeah.
Nice.
But like I said, I guess they, like everyone says, they didn't really go deep enough because also you had to still clear out your other blocks and your things. Because you can't just like he says, I think I even said that in my book, or I said it somewhere. It's like you can't just sit on your ass and like, oh good, come to me now. Like you got to take action. Yeah.
So
So that book, I would say,
I'm reading through your book here, by the way. Yeah, The Secret, very it's a common book. Most people have heard of that. I just realized you went to Yardley, Pennsylvania. That's where you moved
yeah, I
to. Is that
lived
right?
there. And now I've just moved back. I'm in Berwyn. So yeah.
Okay, I'm in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I don't know how far
Okay.
Yardley is from, but King of Prussia, I guess a couple hours, probably somewhere
Yeah,
around.
it's probably like 5 hours or so, something like that. Not too bad.
Gotcha. So, you're an adventurous person at heart, it seems like, and I think you've put that.
Yes.
Not a single adventurous woman. So, um, to
Love
me,
traveling, doing things, yeah.
that freedom. I mean, I don't. Are we unique? Is it rare? Have you come across a lot of your clients that are exactly like you? And the reason why I bring that up is because I believe we attract who we are, and I think that the more you put yourself out there, it's very much like the Dr. Joe Dispenza philosophy. Your personality creates your personal reality. So the more you put yourself out there, the more you know yourself, the more self-awareness that you have, and you live it 24/7 on social media in every social setting, individuals like you come into your life. And I think that that's what I've noticed. Have you noticed the same thing, that the more
That's
adventurous, the more soul searching, the more energy driven person you are, the more people enter your life, and therefore it becomes more fun to just play with people, as in, you get to enjoy life with those who are on a similar path.
That's a yes and no. My friends, yes, I've definitely attracted my great tribe. I used to not like women or not get along with women because they were always just like so jealous and like I wouldn't do anything. But now I have amazing woman friends, amazing male friends. Like we all love each other. And like we have each other's back. We're authentic with each other. We say it like it is. They'll tell me like I have my one friend Case and I love him. He's like, Dawn, he's like, that is not gonna last. Or he's like, you are just so lying to yourself. Like we call each other out on our shit, which is really nice. But business wise, I have a lot of people, well, some business owners, but what I love and I'm so grateful for is I have time freedom, financial freedom. And what my biggest struggle is like, I love traveling and stuff, and I'm virtual, so I can work anywhere in the world. So I find out most people don't have that freedom. So if I'm like, hey, like last 4th of July, I'm like, hey, I'm going to go to the Bahamas. I call my friends up, they live there. I'm like, I want to come down there. And I ask my friend, hey, do you want to go? She's like, Dawn, I can't just get up and leave. I'm like, they have Wi-Fi. Yeah, you can. She's like, I can't work virtually. I'm like, oh, okay. Or it's like, hey, like last week I work out at Lifetime, it's a gym, and I go there. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go hang out at the pool. And it's like, no, most people can't just go do that during the middle of the day. I was working on my computer. So in that respect, I haven't really found other people like that. I would love to, because then I have all these other great friends to go do stuff with. Because I'm lucky I have systems in place that I have a great, so I don't really have to be in a physical office. I am able to, wherever I am, as long as I have a Wi-Fi connection, I could set up shop and do what I need to do, answer my emails. And then sometimes you're not constantly busy because again, you have systems in place. So you have a little bit of downtime. So I haven't really met anyone that has that kind of freedom and flexibility. And that probably leads to their stress too. So if they just get the right systems in place, and again, they might not have our mindset of like, okay, everything's always working out for me. We're going to attract what we need. And sometimes when it's slow, I remind myself, I'm like, well, this is because you need to slow down. Like you need a break. Because there's times when I'm doing my workshops, it's nonstop, go, 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 go. And it's exhausting for like a month, 2 months straight. So I learned to like, okay, it's okay to not like be crazy, crazy busy all the time, to just have a little bit of peace in that moment. But yeah, to answer your question. Oh, and then I want to go back to something else you said too. My other book that changed my life is David McKnight's The Power of Zero. That is like multiplied my business in ways I can't, like I've had the best year last year, and right now I'm almost, like I said, I beat that already because of his book, because I'm a member of his group, The Power of Zero, and we teach workshops around the country about how to retire in the 0% tax bracket. So that had a major impact, and just how we could help clients. So that's my other favorite book that I love.
I got to check
If
that
any of
out.
you
Yeah.
want to go out there, read that book, and then come to me. I'm one of his elite members, so I could help shepherd you along that way and get you to either the 0% tax bracket or to become as tax efficient as possible. Because again, certain people, we will never get to the 0% tax bracket, but we could greatly reduce our tax burden.
Wow. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm shamelessly plugging along the way.
No, I mean, I was going to bring up, by the way, I found this so fascinating. My accountant, his name is David Schleiss, okay? And his website is
Oh my
dsfinancial.com,
God.
okay?
Wow.
So that is hilarious because, guys, her website is dsfinancialstrategies.com. And I'm assuming they can go to that, whether it's to pick up the book or,
Mhm.
schedule a consult with you. What will they find? I guess either if they scan that QR code
Yes.
or if they go to that website.
They'll find a ton of information, videos that I share with people. Oh, also go check out my YouTube channel, Live Your Best Life, Get Your Money Right. I talk about a lot of different educational topics. You'll find different articles, financial, like how I work with clients. So there's a lot of good information on my website. Yeah. And what's typical about me, like as you can see, I don't seem like a typical boring certified financial planner. Like, I
Yeah.
yeah, I'm fun. I'm not going to be boring. I'm not going to sit. I remember when I first started working with somebody, I was like, this guy is boring. And even the clients, they were falling asleep. I'm like sitting here. I'm like, this is not how I want to run a business. I'm like, I'm bored to death listening to this guy. So it's like, I try to make you know, make it more enjoyable. Because money, again, people are afraid of it and they're just scared. So it's like you got to make it enjoyable, make people feel comfortable. And when I'm with a husband and wife, I make sure I always talk to the wife too, because sometimes they always feel left out. And I even wrote a whole chapter on women in there, especially women, you need to be independent. A man's not a financial plan. Like we're sometimes the breadwinners. And if you're single like me, you're gonna always you have to take care of everything. It's all you. So you got to be on point and just make sure you know what you're doing. And yeah, you never know. Your husband, if you're married, your husband could leave you for a younger chick, or like maybe vice versa. Who knows? I don't know. So just gotta be independent and yeah. So where was
Yeah,
I going?
I think
Lost.
that's what I notice in you, by the way. You have fun with your business. And I believe that even if you're, doing your financial statements or you're investing or you're writing a book, you have to have an element of fun. Otherwise, you're going to stop. You're not going to pay attention. You will
Yeah.
never spike those creative juices that get the best out of you, that excite you for the next turn, right? Or the
Yeah.
next journey. So, that to me seems like it's innately in you, right? And
Yeah.
so those who are having fun with their business, I personally, it's for me to invest in someone who doesn't enjoy what they do, it's just not going to happen because people who are sane will give up if it's too hard or if it's too difficult. But if you love what you do, you're going to figure out a way. So if there's anything you want to kind of leave us with when it comes to how important it is to have fun with the manifestation process and the dream life creation and the financial investing, what would you say?
Yeah, it's definitely you want to have fun too, but fun only comes after preparation. Like I remember I sit here and I watch the videos for the Power of Zero, the training videos, and I'm like, sometimes I'm like, oh my God, getting myself to sit there. But as soon as I'm on the stage, as I call it, or like right in front of the classroom, I am on point. I'm making people laugh. I'm cracking jokes because again, sitting there, okay, these are the tax brackets. There's this and this. The deficit is this. Like that's boring. I got to make it exciting, keep them awake. And then they retain the information too. So always have fun with what you do. Otherwise, you're not going to do your best because you're going to be bored out of your mind. You're not going to be able to communicate it in an effective way to people. And life is too short. Have fun. Live
Yeah.
your best life. Get your money right.
When you were writing these two books, did you come across any data that shows that most people are not living their dream life? Most people are just existing, they're not living. And I would think that when it comes to whether it's divorces or relationship breakup or job dissatisfaction or just, depression medicine is just increasing day by day. So, like, have you come across anything that shows that people are just out of alignment with who they really are?
I didn't like do extensive research on that. I just looked at what like marketing resources I had, but like just in my own observation of people, yeah, it's like they're like kind of dead inside. They like that flame is not lit. They let that go out, whether it be relationships. And I was totally a victim to that. I was just like, oh, if someone broke up with me, oh my God, it's the end of the world. This guy doesn't like me. My life's over. And I would like burn out, my flame would burn out. And then I just found it with me after tons of work on myself. And now it's just like it's there. And when it goes dim, I have my, like you said, having your tribe, your people, they pick me up. They're like, Dawn, you're not you, you're in a funk. I'm like, I know, what the hell? And so because having that support to bring you up, bring your tribe to make sure you're at your highest level possible. So that's very important.
Nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with many things that you said today. So I'm glad we were able to connect. Guys, her website again is dsfinancialstrategies.com. You can find her on Facebook and LinkedIn. The book, Manifest and Invest. Live your best life and get your money right. So let's just pull that up, make sure I got it right. So it's live your best life, get your money right. And yeah, it's on Amazon. You have it as the Kindle, the paperback. You need to get that in hardcover and audiobook, just so you know, Don. Just so you know, more people are listening to audiobook. So check out her book, guys. Leave a review. She has 4.9 stars average rating, so it's doing really well.
Thank you.
Don, is there anything else that you'd like to share to our audience and see if there's any way to maybe, get in touch with you and or social media, so an Instagram, a Twitter,
Yeah,
or
I'm on Instagram under my personal name, under DS Financial Strategies. Definitely go to my YouTube. I'm trying to build that following. Live your best life, get your money right. If you want, you can email me, Dawn at dsfinancialstrategies.com. Should I give out my work number? I don't know. That might be too.
do whatever is you're most comfortable with, just so you know.
But
That's
yeah, if you
whatever.
want a consultation, feel free to call me. I offer complimentary consultations, 215-660-0288. And I'm nationwide, so I doesn't matter where you live in the country, I could help you. Or if not, I could point you in the direction of someone who may be able to help you. But I want to thank you, Mike. This was so much fun. This is like one of the best podcasts to be on. I love you're very entertaining. You're easy to talk to, and I love that you're so spiritual and energetic, just like me.
Oh my God. Yeah. Personality creates your personal reality. We
Yeah,
find each
I
other
love that.
somehow, some way. So, guys, look up her book, check it out, and get in touch with her. She obviously is a person who loves what she does, and that is truly inspiring. And she's in this game for the long haul. So, Dawn Santoriello, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Remember, guys, $1 million book will lead to $1 million life. Right on.